streaming. We in?
Well, we'll see.
Come on.
Yeah, we should be. Yeah, we're
It says
streaming.
offline.
No, we're on. Yeah. So what was that? So what was that story you were talking about?
Well, that I finally had a decent-sized bowel movement.
Oh, holy Moses!
You know,
smell the roses.
My God, man, that was a relief. Dude.
Yeah, we'll be starting soon, guys.
You ever feel like
chat amongst yourself? What?
I don't know, like it's a spinal tap shit, like it's coming out sideways.
Oh God, what are you talking? No, what happened at work today that you were telling me about?
Work. All right.
Yeah,
so I was telling you, there's this little Spanish dude.
You thought I was talking about the dump you took a little bit ago?
Well, I mean,
anyways, go ahead.
As far as events of my day go, I mean that was up there. You know?
Oh my God.
You know, sometimes you're just proud of yourself. You're like, man, cool.
Yeah, that's pretty damn. I filled that tank up, right?
It's like, looks like a loaf of bread.
Okay, so what happened? what happened real quick at work?
I take care of this little Puerto Rican dude.
Yeah.
And he refuses to wear shoes and socks. He walks around this joint barefoot, and it's disgusting.
Yeah.
And the only time he'll put some shoes and socks on if he's got a doctor's appointment. That's it. He's got to leave the building. Otherwise, barefooted.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, another guy, actually the other guy I'm going to talk about, then there's this big dude.
Yeah.
Named James.
Big James.
Big James.
Big James.
Big J.
Big J, yeah.
And he's in a motorized wheelchair. He's a big dude.
Hey, Dan Breaker.
And he speeds around in his motorized wheelchair. Matter of fact, he ran over his name's Jose. Ran over his foot.
Okay.
And for like 2 months, I had to put a special bandage and stuff on his foot. He just ran him over because he was going too slow.
Ran him over in the wheelchair?
Yeah, ran over my guy's foot. He was walking around, my barefooted guy. Ran over his foot. So anyway.
Yeah.
James is Big J's already. Yeah. He's ticked off that Jose don't wear any socks and shoes.
Right.
And
Ted works in a kind of a psychiatric nursing home, you can call it. So
we specialize in behavioral issues.
Just doing a countdown so people can get in. But yeah, go ahead.
And he comes up to me. He's come up a couple times like, why doesn't he have to wear any socks and shoes? If I didn't wear socks and shoes, you'd say something to me. Why don't you say something to him? Well, Big J had enough of it today.
Oh, boy.
And decided he was going to take his shirt off. Now, mind you, he also has a colostomy bag.
Oh, boy.
And he's a big dude. You know, he's got, bigger tits than my wife.
Oh, and Lord.
He's just speeding up and down the hallway in that motorized wheelchair, no shirt on, protest. He said he's protesting. He doesn't have to wear socks and shoes.
I ain't wearing a shirt.
I ain't wearing a shirt.
Hell no. Ain't going to... Yeah, Ted's got a ton of them.
That's what he said. He's like, I'll tell you right to your face in cursive.
Dan Breaker says, could use an electric wheelchair.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody has an electric wheelchair in there, do they?
In my place?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
motorized. Hey, cat, get off my shoes.
They race.
Hey, cat.
That cat ain't getting off those shoes.
That cat's always digging on my shoes.
You want to throw a skull at it?
No, I don't wish it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, look, is that a boy or a girl cat?
That's a girl cat.
Oh, well, she looks so comfy on my flip-flops.
Yeah, we're getting ready to talk some Captain Kronos in a minute. Yeah, look at that.
Look at her. Look at her all rubbing on my flip-flops. Okay.
Good thing it's only your feet.
Is this the three-legged cat?
No.
Oh, okay.
You see 4 legs there, don't you?
1, 2, 3.
Okay, yeah.
She's laying on the other one.
There's another one hidden there soon.
The three-legged one, you should do an experiment and cut off another one.
Oh, Lord.
I mean, you cut off the one.
See if it grows back.
Well, no, just, see how it gets around. Like, does it just, let its ass end drag?
No.
Or if you want to have real fun, cut off one of the ones in the front.
It'll be a Ted, that's awful. What is wrong with you?
Well, I'm not the one that cut it off.
Well, the surgeon did.
Oh, yeah, the surgeon. Yep, that leg's got to go.
Yeah, let's
Sorry,
get rid of that
leg's got to go.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, oh well.
But yeah, that was a little spice to my day,
I'd say so, yeah.
They're all...
You always got stories to tell, man.
There is always
something to say.
Yep. I do it all, man, from that kind of stuff to tossing rooms if you think someone's smoking a joint somewhere.
Tossing rooms?
I had to toss a room on Sunday.
Yeah, you have to go look for shivs?
If you think somebody's got something, yeah, I have to go.
Got a shiv underneath the bed.
I didn't know
out of plastic
I didn't know
forks.
I was going to be, a warden, too.
Oh, my God.
Sometimes you got to do it. They don't like it, but...
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do. Here we go.
You got to flush your blunts.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5. I don't think it mattered that had a countdown going on.
No,
there, but,
people are just getting
there we
annoyed.
go.
Hey,
everybody.
Cheers, bitches.
Well, welcome to the Late Horror Show. I am Dino.
I forgot who I am.
And this is
I'm the co-host.
This is a lump of crap over here.
This lump of crap.
Lump of crap. He's got his old shirt on. It's
it's
apart.
like 48 degrees, so it's warming up. And
yeah, it's 48 degrees, so he's got his muscle shirt on, tank top, muscle shirt. What is this, the 70s? Hey, so this week we're talking, it's another Hammer movie.
What do you mean another Hammer movie?
I don't know.
Finally a
You've taken me down this Hammer road.
We did 2 weeks of absolute shit.
My eyes are burnt. No, I agree.
I mean...
Incubus wasn't too bad.
It was dumb. It was. There was one nice girl in the comments that said she's going to put that on her watch list. I didn't respond. I was going to say, man, don't be in a hurry.
Oh,
so if you're out there, don't be in a hurry to watch that one. And what was that other one?
Starry Eyes. Starry Eyes, yeah.
Oh,
wasn't a good movie. It's amazing the people that do like it, though. There are people who like it, but again,
I picked this week a stone cold classic.
Stone Cold.
Rated so high.
Steve Austin stars.
Rated higher than Last Jedi on Rotten Tomatoes, I'm sure of it.
Is it really?
Well, if it's got a better than 6%, then yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Just kidding. Okay, yeah. Oh, well. But yeah, no. Hey, people in the chat, Dan Breaker, Satanic Lives Matter. I think that's all that's chatting away.
All right. See,
a party throwing up.
We command those big crowds.
But yeah, we're doing Captain Kronos, Vampire Hunter, 1974, a Hammer flick, starring whoever. There's no Peter Cushing, no Christopher Lee.
That's okay.
But no,
but you get the beautiful Carolyn Monroe.
Oh my God, Carolyn Monroe. Yes.
You get
she is Carla.
You get character actors.
Yes.
This is even amongst Hammer films.
Yeah.
This is a pretty unique one.
Mm-hmm. It is, and they've got a different take on like the whole vampire thing.
Right. Instead of sucking blood, they suck the youth from the victim, and you have this. What I like about it is it's full of interesting characters that you actually want to know a little bit more about. Like, I would love to know more about the backstory of Captain Kronos. Where did he get that Japanese katana? That samurai sword. I mean,
yeah.
All right. I mean, he goes around with a regular long sword and a katana from, a samurai katana. He's got his partner, Professor Grost, who's a hunchback.
Yeah, Grost, when I saw the hunchback,
yes.
I mean, he looks like this prim and proper guy, and then they just stuck this thing on his back.
He's got a hunch.
It's so Grost. Grost?
Grost.
Yeah,
Professor
Grost. Well, and
they go
when they said,
from here, hither, and thither,
and yon, yeah.
Battling evil.
And when they said Captain Kronos, I've always said Kronos. But it's Kronos.
That's how they pronounce the film. Kronos. And this was directed by...
Ben Grimm, what's going on, man?
Yes.
Hey. What is up, man?
This was directed by a guy named Brian Clemens, a newbie to Hammer. This is probably one of the few Hammer films where you actually see written and directed by.
Right.
Because Brian Clemens wrote this story. And it's actually the only film he ever directed. He did an episode of TV. But it's the only film he ever did. And I think it's just fantastic. It's a little bit of a different take. Yeah. It's got some really cool camera angles.
Yes, it does.
And I'll talk about some of those as we go. Just some things that are a little bit different. Whereas most Hammer films were, economy. You got the Gothic castles and stuff, but they reused so much stuff. And this was like all fresh. You got the bleak fall, crisp countryside.
Yeah, it still got that Hammer feel.
The Gothic feel.
It's
just different locales, different characters, different actors.
And a few people that contain, they're the majority of the... I'd say there's only 7 or 8 in the whole movie.
Yeah, it's a small cast, but... Yeah. I guess what I was just trying to say, like I said, it's you'd really like to know more about these characters, and they have continued.
Deuce Volt 0106. Hey, welcome to the stream.
They have even recently continued the adventures in a comic book.
Right? Yeah, I did see that,
which I read.
Yeah,
it was okay.
You read that?
I read it. It was okay. Well, they make a cardinal sin in it.
No.
In this film, you find that later in the film, Captain Kronos. admits to Carla, who's Carolyn Monroe.
Ooh.
Carolyn Monroe plays a girl that they are. Professor Gross and Captain Kronos are traveling. They've been summoned by an old war friend of Captain Kronos named Dr. Marcus.
Dr. Marcus, yeah.
About some shady shit going on in the countryside here.
Yeah.
And as they're going, they see a girl in a stockade.
Yeah, a stockade. She's
you
got
see,
her hand.
Squished tomatoes all over, and like at Cedar Point or whatever when we go.
Right.
And he says, what sin have you committed, girl? And she just says,
I've only danced on Sunday.
She said, I danced on a Sunday, and he's just like, it's nonsense.
It's like, come on,
Whacks
man.
the lock off.
The horror boy.
And
what's going on, man?
She joins them.
Yeah.
And
yeah, no, they unlock the thing. Yeah, and she runs directly to them, and he says, "Are you going to come?" Yeah, I mean, Kronos is a good. What's interesting about the movie, which I didn't know until after, that Dr. Kronos was a German actor, and they had to dub his voice. I could not tell the whole movie that his voice was dubbed.
And you'd be surprised, Hammer did
They
that
did it
with
so well.
a lot of their films.
Wow.
Especially actresses. You would.
We are talking Hammer horror.
And they did that a lot. That's actually not that's not such a thing. I mean, and a lot of movies do it all the time.
But when I heard that, I'm just you got to be kidding me.
Very good work done.
Good work.
And
they got a different...
He doesn't have the greatest physical presence.
I was going to mention that.
But
they're all very strong characters and very well done.
He spends a lot more time just looking cool.
Yeah,
But, I mean, for what he is, for what he has to do in the film, it's
which
okay.
is good for Carla.
Oh, and you got to say, at the end of the film, that's a pretty damn good sword fight.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's actually, and
the choreography for the fight was very good. Yes,
but
I agree 100%.
I think this, the film's got just about everything you'd want in a Hammer movie.
It's got nudity? No, it don't.
A little.
It's
barely.
Well, barely, yeah.
Because Carolyn Monroe never did a nude scene. She would never.
She never did. But
so
in
they
this
used
one,
interesting shadows to
cover it up. Yeah.
That was as close as she got in a film.
Yeah. Way to
Lovely.
Stick to your guns,
Lovely girl.
man.
Still, she still does the convention circuit, and matter of fact, there was a convention in Pennsylvania not too long ago. I think I really wanted to go, but I ended up not being able to go, and because there was several Hammer actors there, and it would have been kind of.
People say Scars of Dracula.
What about Scars?
Is the weakest film.
I don't know.
No.
I mean, I think
thoughts. No.
It's. Oh, because then you have to remember.
If you're thinking that hard about it, don't worry about it.
Well, because you have to think what comes after that. You get Dracula AD 1972, and then Satanic Rites of Dracula.
Right.
And those are like the modern day ones.
Right.
And I like Scars of Dracula better than those two. Mm-hmm. Scars of Dracula shows some things that they don't show in other vampire. It was the first vampire movie to show Dracula, like in the book, climbing on the side of the castle.
Right.
No other film did that first. Hammer film did that first. The story's just pretty weak. That's really the thing.
Scars of Dracula.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one I haven't seen. So
I like it. Of course, I like them all.
Well, right.
But it's the story's a little.
There's not a Hammer film you don't like.
It's the last of the Gothic Dracula films.
Well, this was the second from the last film.
Yeah, Hammer was in total decline at this time. They didn't market the film very well, or their distributors didn't market the film very well.
Right.
It sat on a shelf for 2 years. And when it did come out, little fanfare. Hammer was already in decline. And it did nothing. But in the years to come, they've had conventions and festivals, and this film is gaining a new audience. Maybe a little bit more in the UK than here, but.
And the horror boy asked, "Do they still make Hammer movies?"
Hammer Studios is still running. Actually, they have a new movie that just was at. I don't know if it was Sundance. It was called, I think, The Lodge. It's got. I don't know who's in it, but they haven't. The closest they've come.
They've had a couple newer films too, right?
Oh yeah, the closest they've come to the Gothic that they used to do was the Woman in Black with Harry Potter, which is actually a really good ghost
Daniel
story.
Radcliffe, yeah.
They did the American version, or I shouldn't say American, but the English language version of Let the Right One In, Let Me In.
Yeah. So a couple good films.
A film with Actually, Christopher Lee was back, and Hilary Swank was called The Resident, more of just like a psychological thriller. Wakewood, which is actually about parents trying to bring back their dead child. And there's a whole little ritual they do to bring back their dead child, and it's only for a certain amount of time. Yeah. And there's all these parameters. It was kind of interesting. You might like it.
Okay.
Oh, there was a really good one. What's that one?
MB,
what was it called?
Welcome to the chat. I'll get to your question in a second.
Is it the I want to say Quiet Ones, but I don't know if it's a film about a professor and a group of students that are studying this. It was based on a true story about a girl that's like possessed by some kind of entity.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty good, but that's a Hammer film.
A newer film too, The Quiet Ones?
I'm not sure if it was called The Quiet Ones. I just want to say that's what it was.
Okay.
Maybe someone out there remember. I could IMDb it in a second, but I know it was on like Amazon. It wasn't bad.
MB says even weak Hammer films are worth a watch. Even the 70s flicks, like Satanic Rites and AD 72. So
yeah. No, there's always something.
Gotta love those Satanic Rites.
But you gotta if you like that kind of style of film. Now what's cool in this movie. Remember, it starts off with a couple girls, out in the woods. One turns away.
Doesn't Hammer always start out with a couple chicks in the woods?
You're right, a couple chicks in the woods. And
something in the wood chick.
There's this figure cloaked in black. And that's where you see the first, you just see him kind of swoop on that girl. She's got a little blood in the mouth.
Swedish Inga, I think.
Whatever, man. And then she's just old. He's sucked the youth out of her.
And there's always just a little drop of blood and like coming off the mouth.
Right. Oh, remember when they show the figure walking by, and when the figure goes by, like all the flowers are dead. And, see that's a little bit different.
The cloak figure is very cool. I do like that. Almost like a death kind of figure coming up.
Yep.
But again, teeth, vampire. But
I don't know
how do they
later in the film that when they finally get to their destination and they meet this Dr. Marcus.
Yeah.
Professor Grost is the expert.
It was The Quiet Ones.
Was it? Thank you. Not a bad flick. You'd probably like it.
Yeah,
you'd probably like it.
Check it out. Yeah.
It was, he mentions that there's all different types of vampirism.
Yeah.
And how, they can be killed by some vampires can be killed by some things, but they can't all be killed by all the same things.
Right.
The cross doesn't always work. And we do see that later in the film when they're trying to kill a vampire.
Well, he says, yes.
Some things don't work.
Yeah. Sometimes you need beheading. Sometimes you need
fire,
hanging, fire, water.
Sometimes the stake works.
The stake works. So, yeah, it's all different kinds.
Which I think is interesting. And that's actually in the comic book series.
What was the other one where Hammer did it? And it was the water, wasn't it?
Oh, there was Dracula, Prince of Darkness, the running water.
Or no, that was in the Full Moon, the subspecies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Remember where he was in the water area and it started cracking? Anyways, yeah. But Full Moon goes a little bit out there with the ways vampires can, die and stuff like that. Is the cat trying to get out? I'm not getting up there, cat. Nope. You were in here. You're staying in here.
You're just going to have to shit on the floor.
Christian Hanna-Hora. Hey, bros. Happy early Thanksgiving. Happy early Thanksgiving to you, Christian Hanna. Cool channel. The Horror Boy says, has Hammer ever made a slasher movie? I don't think an all-out slasher.
It depends on kind of like your definition of a slasher film.
Yeah, I mean, you know what a
not
slasher...
in the sense that I think... they've done psychological thrillers that have some murders in it, but, nothing like an Argento flick or, any of the early ones. Nothing quite like that. And most of the violence would always happen off screen most of the time.
Yeah, MB says we did say that. They were going to make a Captain Kronos series, but...
that was the original idea. That's how it was pitched.
But the movie did so poorly that... things got scrapped.
I think it would have made an excellent TV series.
Yeah.
I mean, but...
like the Planet of the Apes!
Well, I mean, the problem is the timing.
Great TV series.
If this had been a film from the 60s...
Right.
You easily could have got a TV series out of this. Or a series of films.
Yeah.
But as we're getting into the mid-70s, The Exorcist has already been out, and films like it.
Yeah.
audiences have already been exposed to a little bit more hardcore horror films. These gothic kind of horrors, they're tame. Nobody was interested in them anymore.
Right, yeah.
You know, even to me, I realize it's more of a novelty, but it's one that I really like.
Right.
And I love the half a pig. I'm sorry. I just remember the half a pig. But
at the doctor's
house,
place.
yes.
Yeah, Dr. Marcus.
I'm looking at I saw a picture.
Because he
half pig.
Because you know, the girls are basically going one at a time,
right,
getting
so
the life sucked out of them.
This guy at the town life, Dr.
Kronos
summons his friend, who is somewhat of an expert in these areas. And I do like when they pick Carla up, and you know they're camping out for the night.
Yeah.
And you know she's asking who he is, and Grost is like, you know, she's like, is he a king? He's like, well,
yeah,
in a way he kind of is. Do you want me to let that poor little critter out?
Yeah, go let the
excuse me, folks.
Go let the cat out. Open the door. He's scratching the door like it's dying here. Okay. But the horror boy says, you got some questions, horror boy here. Why was Horror of Dracula called Dracula in the opening credits? Did they have right issues?
When it was called Dracula in, excuse me, I'm sitting back down.
Yeah,
it was called Dracula in other territories.
Dead
like
and loving
in,
it.
in the UK, where it was filmed. But when they released it here in the States, they didn't want it to be confused with Universal's Dracula.
Right.
So the name was changed to Horror of Dracula.
Gotcha.
So I think, because I think actually Universal kind of, even though there's Dracula, I think Universal kind of owned the rights to the name. You know, at the time.
Right.
Like, even when they did their Frankenstein film in Curse of Frankenstein, it couldn't look anything like the Universal one.
Yeah.
Now, the only time they were able to fudge that a little bit and make a Frankenstein monster with the square kind of head was The Evil of Frankenstein, because it was distributed by Universal. So they were able to do that, and they did, and it's not a popular Frankenstein movie. It's just as good as any of the others for the most part, in my opinion.
If you love a Hammer film like Ted does.
Well, the Frankenstein movies sort of have a continuity, and that one doesn't really fit in.
Right. Yeah.
You do see some loose continuity amongst the Frankenstein films.
Man.
And even the Dracula films for the first 4 or 5.
Oh no problem. The horror boys.
Any question, man? You throw
so thanks for it. Well, he also says, and could you see Nosferatu being in a Hammer film? Why not? Of course we could. There's Radu is kind of a Nosferatu figure in the Full Moon series. Yeah. I can see Hammer doing.
I wish they would go back to their Gothic films. Do a couple of, horror films that are Gothic popular. Yeah. Okay, get those out there, get some money, and then use that money and make one of those good classic Gothic ones for the fans.
Yeah.
Because I realize
like
it's not popular.
Old school.
An old school, even if it's straight to video. I mean, look at that, like Guillermo del Toro movie, that Crimson Peak. All right, that was sort of a Gothic romance type film. Didn't really set the world on fire.
What's wrong with people?
Just I don't think people like movies that take place way back in that time and these costume dramas.
Yeah, it's a period piece. I mean, come on.
You'd never believe that there was a time when there'd be lines around the block for, a movie like House of Usher with Vincent Price. A talky melodrama based on Edgar Allan Poe. But there was.
Well, there's another interesting turn in the movie where it's pretty evident what's going on and the end of the movie. And
there's a little misdirection at first, though. They kind of make you want to think that it is Marcus that is the guy doing the
Durwood
the sucking.
Well, who comes to the graveyard? Is the Durwood carriage?
Yes, there's a little scene in a graveyard, and there's like the local rich family, the mansion out in the back of town, the Durwoods.
Yeah,
and the children, the son and his mother,
in the graveyard
are visiting the grave, and evidently when the father died. That's they're visiting the father's grave. He was under the Dr. Marcus's care, but he says it was a plague. I couldn't do anything. I'm sorry.
Right.
But evidently, Mrs. Durwood, Lady Durwood, let's say, has held a constant grudge, and you get a little glimpse of her in the coach,
Lady Durwood,
where she looks all desiccated and old, and it looks like a mask, but it's makeup for way back.
I mean, no spoilers. I mean, here, it is a mask. They show it. Did I spoil anything?
Anybody who watches our show by now should know there's going to be spoilers.
Yeah,
don't watch us if you want to watch the movie.
But yeah, I mean, there's a mask in it. But that's all
and
I'll
I think
say
this
right
movie
now,
is on
but...
YouTube, dude. So I mean,
Yeah,
if you want to go on there and
yeah,
watch it, go watch it. It's on there.
It's on YouTube for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
Not on Blu-ray here in the States. I had to import mine.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I'm hoping, man. It's actually, I'll tell you what. It's probably, because I've been enjoying Hammer movies on Blu-ray for a long time because I got a region-free player.
Right.
I think I only have maybe, like 3 more that I'd like to get, American versions of. So, and this is one of them.
Do I practice the secret habit?
Secret habit.
Anyways.
So we get introduced to that Durwood family and kind of wondering what they're all about.
And that big stone statue reminded me of like the Ape City, like the Dr. Zaius, the stone.
And it's actually a very good likeness of the guy who you will see later in the movie. He's very weird looking. He's got Lord Durwood.
But yeah, of course he's got the old granite statue, carved of him, and they're coming to pay their respects to the daughter and the son.
And the son is actually his name's Shane Bryant. He's been in a couple Hammer movies.
Okay,
maybe 3 Demons of the Mind, which is
that's
coming out on Blu-ray here in the States. It's okay. It's a gothic film, but it's not like there's not a whole lot supernatural going on.
Right.
And he's in another one. They did make a few like more modern thrillers, and there's one called
a modern thriller.
I can't remember what it's called, but
I don't know.
But he's in that one.
But it's Paul Durwood, the son, and Sarah Durwood, the daughter, and she's kind of cute in here.
I knew
you knew I was going to say that.
I knew you. Out of all the beautiful women in this movie, God damn, do I know you? I knew you were going to say that short-haired waif.
She got this short Mia Farrow from Rosemary's Baby kind of thing.
Just like your girls look like dudes.
What? What?
I mean, when you're working from behind, what do you? There's no hair to grab onto.
Dolores O'Riordan from the Cranberries, man, with the short hair. Come on. Anyways, yeah, that's the Durwood family, and there's Lady Durwood. Who?
Do you think Sinead O'Connor was hot back in the day with the shaved head?
Oh God,
you did.
Well,
I see.
When
with the shaved
for
head,
a very short period of time. I mean, that nothing compares to you. Period. That's yeah.
So you could see yourself,
but
working from behind there and just grabbing that tennis ball and just rubbing it.
Well, who says I'm working from behind?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Face, ass, what's the difference? You can stick your dick in either end.
Hey, the Cots, is this yours? Is this your? The Coats. What's up, man? Nice seeing you, chat. Yeah, you're nuts. But there's some.
Yeah, my wife don't like that.
Oh my God.
Say something like that.
Who's the weird dude with the Botox face?
Weird dude with the Botox face?
He's in the inn later on when the fight goes on.
Oh, when Kronos and Gross go in there? I like that he takes Gross with him in case anybody pops off.
Yeah, because Gross is going to...
I got Gross with me in case anybody pops off.
Yeah. I got you covered there, master.
Well, the doctor, he gets reintroduced to the Durwoods, and I don't know, maybe it gets him thinking about ways and means how this is happening, because he summoned Captain Kronos, and he initially didn't want to admit that it was vampirism.
Right.
And
it's
also,
mesmerism.
Well,
what did they say? It's
because
mesmerism,
he says,
or something like that.
Yeah, because how did this happen to these girls? And Gross suggests there could be some hypnotism, which actually is.
But it's funny how he said his words were mesmerism, and I'm like going, is that a word?
Mesmerism, of course it is.
I guess so. Yeah.
Man, ain't you ever read a Conan book?
They say mesmerism?
Yeah, what form of devilry is this? And what is this?
Devilry isn't mesmerism, Ted. It's a different word. Anyways, but there's also a weird thing they do, to try to capture the vampire?
I wanted
the
to
toad?
look this up to see if it was really a thing.
Okay.
Maybe one of you guys could do this for us real quick. It was the toad in a hole.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's where that phrase came from.
Toad in a hole.
Toad in a hole.
Yeah.
And it's where
Exploding witchcraft it is.
They're trying to track the vampire's movements. Or try to figure out a direction it's coming from. Try to find it.
Yeah.
And what they're doing is along the trails, along the paths where the girls have died, they're bearing a little wooden box with a dead toad in it.
Yeah.
And the idea is wherever a vampire crosses, it gives life to the dead toad, and it'll come to life.
Yeah.
Which I think is fascinating.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's based on something that sounds crazy enough to be a thing.
Well, in like witchcraft, I would think something like that is possible, or but yeah, it was a very unique way that it was very unique, and they were putting these toads like everywhere.
Yeah, I don't know where they're getting all these dead toads from.
I was going to say, I mean, an awful lot.
They must
of
know
toads
a dealer
with red ribbons hanging above them, and I'm like when you think the vampire isn't that dumb.
Well, I mean,
they're decorating the forest.
Well, I mean, God, you use the tools
forest.
that you have at the time. I even like when what?
I'm just saying.
Oh, God.
But anyways,
we suck.
Oh, God.
Give me $1, y'all. Give me $1.
But no, I mean, can you see the vampire going like, what the decorating up the forest here and stuff?
You
like
know
that,
who Captain Kronos kind of reminds me of?
Who?
Clint Eastwood in the spaghetti westerns, man.
I was going to say that, especially when he's got that long cigarette kind of thing.
That cigar is about 18 inches long.
What is it? A cigar?
It's a Chinese herb. He says.
That's
and
what
he's getting
said.
high. Because he says that to Dr. Marcus.
It's the Mad AJ.
He says it's a Chinese herb.
Oh.
And we've seen it a couple times. This huge scar along Kronos' flank,
like he was cut in half.
And you find out that it was during the war.
And
Dr. Marcus stitched him up.
Yeah.
And I love when he says to him, I know you've got guts, Kronos. I've seen them. And then Carla comes in, the beautiful Carolyn Monroe, and you see her sort of in the shadows.
Right.
But you know what? That's another thing I like about Hammer films. It's nice to just see a little and
I know you hate
leave
them when
something
they're
to man.
You hate nudity.
No. It was just different then. It was a little bit more classy.
It was classy.
And that's how these actresses were, man. They were classy.
Yeah. Top notch.
Top notch.
Not working their way to the top.
Sleeping their way to the top. Hey, that's what you got to do if you want to make it in Hollywood. You got to sleep your way to the top.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm, the chlamydia cleared up.
Did it?
And yeah.
Is all of that? You took the medicine?
Yeah. I rubbed that
course.
I rubbed that lotion all over and
doing good, huh?
Used a special comb.
Because it took you you were in pain for 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. I was pissing whole milk for. That's what it was like.
You were pissing whole milk.
Pissing whole milk. I was pissing cottage
Time
cheese.
to milk Teddy. Time to milk Teddy. What the hell?
Well, there's only 2 people watching, so I guess it don't matter. And I appreciate you too.
Yeah, thank you for showing up.
Don't go to any of those other shows. They're douchebags.
So what happened? So what's kind of going on next here? I mean, they're putting the toads around the trees,
setting up the traps, putting up the dragnet, trying to Even Kronos says at that part inside the barn, he's like, he's telling Marcus, I realize you probably think I'm not doing anything.
Yeah.
But he's like, there's a time to think, a time to plan, and then a time to fight. And
I like there's a scene where, all these girls are getting, killed, basically.
Yeah, even this one. You think that there's a young couple making out in the woods? Because that's what young couples did back then. And
well, it looks like he forcefully, put her against a tree.
You get that little hint there for a second.
They're into that.
But then, she starts liking it.
Yeah.
And she's going to walk, her house
but
is
she
right
was
there
worried
through
about,
the
he was
forest.
worried about her going off to, on herself through the woods.
And then before you knew it.
But
there's a couple little dips in the path, and she goes down one of those dips, and gone.
Yeah, makes you, it's a vampire.
And all these old people look like old men.
Oh,
they do look like they're old men. I'll bet you they were old men.
The one woman I'm talking about in particular, and the one scene does look like an old man.
It's gotta be.
I'm like, oh my god! When puts its head up, her head up, it looks like one of the old like a. Who can I say? Like one of those old 70s bands? You know what I mean?
Like Keith Richards.
Like Bread. You know what I'm saying? It's like with the hair, like here.
My dad is such a huge fan of that group.
Oh my God!
I'm trying to think of one of their songs. Oh my God!
Well, that was Bread was with Eric. Was it with Eric Clapton?
No, that was Cream.
That was Cream. Different food.
The other food.
Different category of food.
I would never be in a band named after food.
Oh my God!
Bread, cream, corn.
What the hell?
What dumb names?
Oh Lord! Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Or like the town you live in. It was just stupid.
It's like you're famous because you know you're a good magician or musician, but you call yourself Bread.
Bread.
Or
the bread of life.
Cream.
But
it's Christmas time. I started started catching up on my.
Your cream?
You're looking at me like what the hell's he about ready to say? I've been watching some Donnie and Marie Christmas specials on YouTube. Taking me back.
Donnie and Marie.
It's taking me back, man.
I remember being a little kid and my aunt had the little Donnie and Marie dolls and the play set, the little stage play set and everything.
Yeah. No, you know what? It reminds me of when I was a kid. Like these specials were on TV and it's coming up to Christmas here. So, I'm
I don't get nostalgic about Donnie and Marie. But, but I remember.
There was Jimmy Osmond. He was the youngest one. He was
Jimmy.
I don't know why they tried pushing him. I don't think he did nothing. It was just Donnie and Marie.
He was like Tito. Tito Jackson. They're always trying to push Tito out to the front. Let's get Tito out there. Yeah, any more questions in the chat, man? I'm ready for some hammer questions.
There's one person in the chat. Who are you? Let me know who you are.
Yeah, call us up on the phone.
Who are you? Oh my God, it's such a trip.
We're gonna stop doing this show.
You know what? I'm wondering where everybody is, or do you guys just hate our show anymore?
Look, someone said it was a very underrated film. Now, I want to talk to that person. Who said that?
Which underrated film?
I don't know. They said this was a very underrated Hammer film.
I think it was Horror Boy said that.
Was it the Piss and Cottage Cheese that chased the one person away? You can't handle that?
I don't know.
You're a horror fan, right?
Yeah, I guess so.
Come on, let's get to 0.
Man, I tell you, what? There's one person watching.
Well, maybe
who
that
are
person,
you?
Yeah. Pop on there and say who you are, man.
Say who you are. Who's still here? I really want to know.
We're going to chat with you. You're going to get some one-on-one time with the Late Late Horror Show.
Well,
it's nice to know that after 4 years, we've built up this incredible audience, and
I'm just.
It's chicks, man. We need to get chicks on. Oh, we got people back.
Well, no, I think I'm. Is this the end? It's
the end.
Do we say forget it?
I don't know. They chased us. They chased you off, man. See, we're exiles.
I'm just telling you. Let's wrap up this.
Maybe if we just talked about like Jason movies exclusively.
I'm going to. Yeah, I'm.
Oh, we're up to 3 now.
I'm too close to just.
Come on, they're coming in now.
Sorry, we're just standing here and wandering and talking because, yeah, we were down to 1 viewer.
Oh, I like it though.
We've been on YouTube for 4 years.
We are here
man.
for the hardcore.
I don't know.
Some people know. Maybe we should just do unboxing videos. Like, go to the store and buy a bunch of blind boxes, and we'll make slime.
I might.
All you gotta do is buy some Elmer's glue, some contact lint. Oh, we lost one. They don't like that slime.
Yeah. Well,
we're gonna make videos for kids now. We're gonna make slimes
for Copacabana.
And we're gonna do coloring. We're gonna color pictures.
I don't even know.
Maybe we can get involved with that Zam Fam and do like get involved in that Game Master storyline or something.
Game Master.
See, you don't even know about it, man.
Huh?
It's so elusive that you don't even
something
know
going
about
on.
I don't know, man. All them shows. Maybe we could do challenges like, which one of us could jump on a trampoline longer.
Well, let's sum up this movie and at least get it.
Sum up, man. This is the best part, man. When they go to the bar, they're looking for information, and there's the whore.
This may be the last video you ever see on the Late Late Horror Show.
And there's the harlot, and he brings Grost with him. Like I said, in case anybody pops off.
Yeah.
And he takes that damn katana.
Yeah.
I love that. And slice and dices them. One slit, all three of them gone.
Right. Yeah, go on.
See, what are you going to make me talk the rest of the movie?
There's the guy in the back there with the Botox face. Like,
all right. Now, what I'd like to know is why is the girl back there blindfolded?
That's
you didn't think that was an interesting touch?
No, I was wondering.
Because it really played no part. That was why is she blind? There's a lady just sitting there who's blindfolded.
And why? What's up with that?
Because she's blind. It's Bird Box.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's Bird Box. This is where Netflix got the original idea for
I just finished Stranger Things 3 last night. Finally.
Did you?
I did.
How did you like it?
Did you watch it?
I watched it.
I liked it a lot.
Yeah, I mean, number 1's the greatest. 2's okay.
Who's your favorite character in this series?
My favorite character?
Yes. You got a favorite character?
Oh, my Lord.
I'm telling you what, I'm a big Steve Harrington fan.
Are you?
I think he's fantastic, especially in 2 and 3.
Yeah, I mean, he's good.
Man, guy gets his ass kicked every single season.
Yeah, that's true. He does.
I love it. I love it. It was fun to watch, man. I never watch it like right away. I always take a while to catch up to these things. But my daughter's a huge fan, and she finally, said, Daddy, you got to watch it. So I watched the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
So that was a fun ride. Now I got to find something else to watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure what else is out there, really.
I don't know.
Walking Dead's kind of going downhill. There's a spin-off series coming.
Isn't there already a spin-off?
Well, there's Fear the Walking Dead, but now there's some other show coming out dealing... It's another spin-off, that's all. It looks all right.
I don't know why that doesn't interest me.
Well,
and there's nothing wrong with it. It was well made.
I think Negan is still in The Walking Dead. I think this past season, and I just never dug it when he was there. Maybe
I'll just go back and watch Star Trek again. You never go wrong with Star Trek.
Yeah. Why not? Let's watch Star Trek.
We should. We should do a commentary. No.
Yeah, no.
Let's do
I
an
love
episode.
The Next Generation. I love it.
All that techno babble crap. Geordie LaForge wears a banana clip on his face.
A banana clip?
There's a banana clip on his face.
To hold back his hair.
I mean, if you had Kirk and Picard fight in a fist fight, I mean, there you go. You know who the winner is.
Well, yeah, Kirk is...
And even in a game of
Yeah.
if you pit two enterprises against each other, man, Kirk's still going to win.
You think so?
I think he's devious enough to win, man. He thinks outside the box, man.
True.
Kobayashi Maru.
Let's just sit here for a little bit.
All right.
Let's just take a break.
We're going to go start a darts team. Play darts on Tuesday nights.
Hey, it's not a bad idea.
Maybe there's a bar that's got good trivia. My sister does that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, we should do some trivia. I know a lot about nothing.
Same here. Yeah.
My mind's a steel trap, except when it comes to some things, but holidays, anniversaries.
It's it's just unreal.
Yeah, it is. I haven't seen any movement in the chat line there.
No, I'm just sitting here.
Mm-hmm. There's no movement.
I've just been watching that one guy.
What guy?
That Peter guy.
Oh.
We were talking about.
Peter.
It's good stuff.
Good brandy.
Yeah.
I think more people would tune in if we just did this. People like to watch videos of people playing games. Maybe they'd like to tune in to people watching movies. Of course, you're not supposed to talk when you watch a movie.
No.
And just watch my reaction.
Yeah, let's just sit here and just,
Witchcraft and Demonology, or whatever that book is. Oh, here comes your baby bitch.
Sarah Derwin.
Yeah, here she comes.
It's not.
Look at this.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought her name was Steve.
Straight. It's Mick Jagger.
Here comes Biff.
This is Mick Jagger. Oh, Ted.
What? We're going to make slime videos.
So many things.
Seriously.
Yeah.
A slime video. And call it Two Grown Guys Making Slime.
Well, Copa won't let you do that.
What? You can't do slime videos?
I don't know. Can you do anything for kids now on YouTube? I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, sure you can.
I gotta look into.
You just got to be kid friendly. You got to be accessible. Well, you made a pretty good amount of dough.
No, I think I'm done.
What do you mean you're done?
Do something else.
Make a big announcement.
Do something.
And then we'll come back.
Haven't I done that twice?
We'll
already?
do like the Motley Crue thing where they did the retirement tour and now they're coming back and everyone's getting pissed because they all joked and made a big thing out of it. They signed a contract, no more tours, and people are calling out Mick Mars now because he went on some of these radio metal shows and said if we ever get back together, everyone gets a free ticket. Well, guess what? People are wanting a free ticket now.
Oh boy!
Because they're doing a big stadium tour this summer.
Mm.
Oh, I was joking. Yeah, bet your ass you were joking.
Water. Yeah. Oh, my leg fell asleep. Got pins and needles in there.
Probably like our audience. Fall asleep.
There is none.
Oh, they're watching the other ones. They're watching the shows that have chicks.
No, that's not it.
That's not it?
No.
We're not accessible.
Yeah.
We rub people the wrong way. You do anyway. You rub them all the wrong way.
Right? Yeah.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Is that what I do?
They're going to start some shit. There's Grost. He's like, I got your back. Hey, these punks pop off.
Grost.
Red wine, barkeep. Best you have.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Movies. I liked this movie. This is a good movie.
Oh, boy.
And you know what? I didn't get to see it until we had that membership at Beware. Because this was not one that they ever showed on TV or anything. So I rented it from there.
It's interesting.
And that's how I got to see that.
Really?
Because they had their own Hammer section.
Sounds good.
You gotta love a video store with a Hammer section.
Which video store?
Remember Beware?
They had their own Hammer section?
They had a Vincent Price section. They had a Sasquatch section.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
They had a Bigfoot section for crying out loud.
That's true.
I used to love that store.
Beware Video?
Yes. I remember they had their little boy in the walker and he'd be going up and down the aisles knocking boxes off the shelf.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like, and I understand, that's how you do it, is you had to take the box to the front to get, and then they would give you the tape.
Yeah.
And what I didn't like is then you didn't know, like if you came in later, you didn't know if they even had the movie. You'd have to ask or whatever. But, you'd look at the shelf and go, oh man, they don't even have it, and, well, I'm never going to be able to see it.
Didn't they have like those, like, babies that they, like, made up in the back that they sold?
Probably.
Like baby dolls?
I think
Remember
so.
those?
What were like those living dead dolls or
Yeah,
precursor to those?
But they were like homemade.
Mm-hmm.
That they.
I like that they even homemade movies. Homemade horror movies and stuff. You rented that one once.
Yeah.
It was the zombie movie. I remember the guy thought he was Axl Rose. I am Axl Rose. Right. Big sausage.
Yeah. Terrible, but it's still one of those so bad it's good. I mean, it was something to watch.
It was something to watch. Yeah. It was.
Especially at the time when
I remember there was one. We never rented it, but it was called No Skin Off My Ass.
Oh my God.
But yeah, I remember they had a Bigfoot section. They had Giallo section. I mean, it was all divided up real cool.
Yeah.
They had their own Peter Jackson section. Back when he made good movies.
Right.
That was a great video store.
Yeah.
I got an itch. I got an itch to scratch.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just...
Well, the good thing is, this is probably the fourth time this year I've watched this movie.
Really?
Just for fun.
Yeah.
Just one of those movies I like to watch. Did I tell you I finally got through that whole Godzilla box set from Criterion? Watched all the old Godzilla movies.
You got through all of them?
All of them.
Really?
And I gotta tell you, man, what fun it was to watch those again.
I bet it was.
I mean, and I kind of like the later ones. Some of the ones that people say aren't as good, like Godzilla vs. Gigan and Megalon and Mechagodzilla, because each one of them is like about a different alien race trying to take over the world.
Yeah.
And I thought all of them were pretty damn good. I mean, they're short, they're sweet, and I liked them. I had a smile on my face each and every one of those Godzilla movies.
Well, there was a scene in there where the river stopped, the leaves froze.
I thought that was neat.
You thought that was neat?
I don't know. I mean, they just did different things. There's even like some, like remember the church scene? They do the like through the bell. You can kind of see the one scene I like is inside the church. You see the cross, and then you see the arms coming down,
Mm-hmm.
like because the vampire's in there, because the church doesn't do nothing. But just and did you notice at the end who because it's Lady Durwood at the end? Do you remember who she said she was?
No.
A Karnstein.
That's right. Yeah. Karnstein.
So technically, because of that one little line, this is part of the Karnstein series.
Right. Yeah.
And they did offer it to Ingrid Pitt.
Yeah.
They offered that role to her, and she's turned it down.
She turned it down.
Any time that she was offered to reprise that role, she turned it down.
Yeah.
But why? So there's like 3 movies with her character in it, and well. That wasn't the same character. It was just the same last name, but
yeah,
her character's in 2 other movies, and she didn't play him.
You want to just say the ending of the movie real quick?
They kill the vampire.
Okay. There you go. No, seriously.
They kill the vampire.
Okay.